Like I played Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but that didn't last very long. Having long hair is annoying. Don't do it. Just be bald. Let me know if it's a little too quiet or loud.
Hello everyone, welcome to our September development update. Hopefully you have been enjoying your September.
I see they still haven't fixed their webcams.
Showing. I know Steven has been also sneak peeking some great stuff along the way as well. And we've been excited. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. So first and foremost, welcome to the stream. If you're new, we are going to be going over a lot of things. So I'll go into a little bit of detail about that. We'll do quick updates and then we'll get right into it. This is going to be a bit longer of a stream. So if you need something to drink, grab yourself a coffee during the intro and some water to get yourself started because it's going to be a long one. First and foremost, I am joined
it's gonna be a long one. You guys excited?
Director. How you doing, Steven?
I am doing well. We have had a crazy.
My dude's like rich as fucking. He has like a G9
fixing and optimization.
Like an old 9 G11 or something. I don't remember the headset.
Yeah, we all were up till like I was up till like midnight. I don't know how long you guys were up till. It was late.
There was a 7 a.m. night. I think I was up for like 27 hours straight one day.
Yeah, I went to bed at 2 a.m. one time, and you went to bed. I saw that you posted something at 4 a.m. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, clearly I'm not needed here. I'm gonna go get some sleep so I'm functional tomorrow. And then, of course, I'm joined also by Jeffrey Bard, who is our lead game designer. How are you doing today, Jeff?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing pretty good. We had a fun day last night. You'll get to see some of that. But yeah, doing good, doing great.
Awesome. I love
Yeah, we're really excited for this stream because last night we were able to record some additional 4K footage.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, so hopefully you all enjoy that. And we will be uploading that as a separate thing too as well, right? That's the plan?
Yes, so that's
separate uploads is good.
That's being uploaded right now by Kristen to YouTube. It's going to go live, I think, just after the stream, so you guys can watch it there in its full 4K glory. But we're also going to show it on stream. So.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, gameplay
so
footage.
I'm just going to go over kind of like what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to do a studio update. We'll do some design, and we actually have a really long video for you that we'll be playing. We have our environment update, character art update, and a Q&A as well. So it's going to be a long one with a lot of goodies. I do have some quick updates for you all. So I'll just pop over to those. Just so you know, we did just wrap up our immersion dev discussion. So thank you all for joining us and giving us a lot of great content there. Toast has wrapped up that and sent over the compiled takeaways to our dev team, so they will be looking over that report. Our next one is going to be on housing and decor tools. So we were really excited to hear your guys' feedback on that. I know design is working on a lot of housing
Immersion.
stuff.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Relevant stuff. So definitely give
us
ruining
my immersion
and details on that front. Beyond that, we do have we put out a really cool coloring book, and you all have definitely submitted some really neat coloring book submissions, so we wanted to spotlight.
So cute.
Yeah, we wanted to spotlight some of those. So here we go. I'm just going to show a couple. Thank you for submitting these.
Dude, that one's like a pimp or something.
Really crazy colors. And then last but not least, people have been asking us about a Halloween contest, and we're not going to give you all the details yet. We'll have an article that will have all the information, so go to ashesofcreation.com/news. But we have our Glorious Gourd contest coming this October again,
so
stay tuned. We'll have all the details on what you can expect on that front here soon.
And to be clear, I think there's a specific prizes for the Glorious Gourd contest, isn't there?
Do we have prizes?
I think there's like some Alpha 1 keys that we might do.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll have more details about that. So stay tuned and do let us know your thoughts on that front. Okay. So with that, we will just get right into it. So Steven, walk us through the studio update and tell us all the things.
Absolutely. So we have
Agreed,
had a
Sticky.
very successful previous round of hiring. We went in with 24 open positions, and I believe we are at 20 as of today that we have hired from the 24. So there's still 4 positions. You will see if you go to intrepidstudios.com that there is still a number of listed positions available, and that's because we really don't ever stop hiring per se as we're moving forward. We still need a lot of these positions, multiple people in some of these positions. Our next hiring round is
Of
probably going to be
immersion.
in January. That's when we really go with a number of additional positions and we kind of go into full on recruiting. And that's going to be coming January. The studio update from a move-in standpoint, we have delayed our new move back to the studio. We're still working from home with COVID stuff, but we've delayed that until the beginning of the year because just kind of 2 things really. One, we don't know how fall is going to impact the COVID numbers and whether or not the great state of California is going to determine that offices that are non-essential can no longer work in their offices. And I'd hate to put the studio through getting back into the office and then having to go back to home. So we're going to
that sounds
wait
like
and
a
see what
nightmare.
happens in fall. And then additionally,
Maybe,
we
Jojo,
have some
you put in
deployments
an
that are coming at the end
application?
of this year, Alpha 1 being one of them.
Honestly,
And I
Jeff's
don't want
background
to
is the
mix
highlight
up
of the stream so far.
that hard work that many of us are going to be going through during that period and also have to juggle a move back into the studio. So that's probably
What
going
is
to
the
come
thing
beginning
on
of
the
next year.
door?
Things are going really good from a development standpoint. We have had a lot of work done over the past couple of months since July, really when we started getting into some of that testing. We had some great tests this last weekend. We had about 440 some odd testers in on Saturday and Sunday, and we have been collecting a lot of data on performance optimizations, bug fixing. Really can't kind of express enough the hats off to our testers who have gone through this very, very buggy,
What about the plush
preview
to
of
the
Alpha
left,
1,
man?
which is great because we get to get all that stuff out of the way as we get closer
Is
to
that a
actually
giraffe
delivering Alpha 1. So
on the
major hats
side?
off to those testers, but things are going really good.
I want to see him
Yeah.
try to ride the Thomas the
So
Tank
thank
engine that he's
you,
clearly too big for.
following along
That's
with
what
us.
I'd really like to
And
see.
we have been posting the job positions that have been available on our social. So if you follow us on all
Looks
of
like
our
a
social
unicorn
channels
mouse, the
and our
plush.
LinkedIn, if you're interested in those positions or you know someone who would be good for them, definitely follow up with them and let them know because we'd love to have them join our Intrepid family. With that, I think we're ready to go into design stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so quick, I don't know if we want to go to the video right away or if you want to kind of preempt for some stuff first.
I think let's just preempt maybe the video just a little bit, and then we'll just go into the video and we can chat afterwards. What do you think, Jeff?
I think that sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah. So just to give you guys a little preamble to the video here, obviously, disclaimer necessary. This is the preview to Alpha 1, so technically still pre-alpha. Not a lot of polish, not a lot of optimizations. The UI is completely placeholder. However, in this video, what are we discussing, Jeff?
Don't judge us too much.
Well, sometimes it takes a little while to get from one place to another, and it helps if you have a mount. So we're going to be talking a little bit about mounts, and specifically mounts that are not afraid of getting wet.
Yes.
So we will see you in a quick bit.
So mouse can
after
swim,
you
I
check that out.
guess.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
It looks
another
like a
4K
cow to me.
video in the development update of Ashes of Creation. Just wanted to take a moment to kind of talk about the progress and development of the preview for the Alpha 1 that's
It's
coming
5
at the end
people
of this
this
year. I am
time.
joined by our amazing lead game designer, Jeffrey Bard,
Armors
our
look pretty
resident
good.
Mark.
Hi, everybody. Hope
Like the
everybody's
glow
doing
shields.
well.
I like
I'm
the
excited to show you
short
cool things
one.
today.
Yay! And then we also have Lou
glow.
Perza, our community marketing lead, Margaret Crone.
Hi. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about turtles, so,
I like your little
Wow,
staff. It's like
spoiler.
a little tiny baby
I
staff.
know, it matches your outfit, though.
Oh,
Dwarf
yeah.
stuff.
It's like a dwarf staff, yeah. We also have Violet Light, our social marketing or social media
Danny.
manager. I'm so sorry.
Hello.
Social media manager Danielle Violet Light.
I might.
everybody.
I mean, that's one of the
We're
races
playing
I'm
an
leaning
elf today.
towards.
An elf, I'm always an elf.
Today, I was like, always.
Oh, that's true. That's
Always.
true. I didn't think about that. And our senior community manager, Lieutenant Toast, or in this case, just Toast.
Just
No-
toast.
no
I brought my
tiny
best
toast
made-
today.
made
No
today.
tiny toast, no mini
No
toast.
prefix, no
I
suffix.
know. That's so sad.
Simple,
Sometimes it's really
plain
delicious, though.
Toast.
Are you
This is true.
hating? Plenty?
So, guys out there, guys and gals, we have been
pizza.
testing a
gonna
lot
get me some food after this.
over the past. Gosh, last time. When was the last time we did that 4K video? It was like in July, I think, right?
As
Wasn't
well,
it?
yeah.
End of, middle of July or something, June, I don't know. But we have been testing a lot. We have made a lot of progress, kind of getting things ready for testers. Just this last weekend, we had a little over 440 testers helping us on Saturday and Sunday, and actually today, Tuesday. We had a lot of people in, squashing bugs, finding bugs, performance testing, pretty much getting as much as possible ready and
I feel like
tested.
we're not going to get, based on that information, I feel like we're not going to get an
and
announcement
getting the,
until next
Alpha
month.
1 ready for all of you guys to, those of you who are
Yeah.
participating in Alpha 1, for those of you to
So I'm guessing
get in and
November is
help
when
us.
it'll happen.
Find things to iterate upon and test all the great things for Alpha 1. We're pretty excited about that, aren't we, Jeff?
I can't explain exactly how excited I am. It's one of those things where, stuff goes live and kind of everything kind of breaks loose and it's fun and exciting and it's like riding a horse. It's great.
I think for me, it's been really exciting to actually get to play with groups because I hopped in and I played with a couple of different groups and we had a lot of fun. So
Oh yeah.
it's nice to hang out with our community. We have such awesome people and
We
super,
really do.
super nice.
Yeah, we do have
And they've been so patient with us.
an
Yes.
amazing community. Every time, I have an opportunity.
Can't
to
decide
interact
if I
with-
like the water or
with you
not.
guys out there in the community, I'm reminded yet again why we are doing this, and really what our motivation is to bring you guys an awesome game, something that you guys can be proud of and we can be proud of too. So we appreciate your support. We appreciate your guys tuning in to our monthly live streams. and,
Negative Nancy.
jumping on our social media and interacting with our amazing community team, Danielle, Sarah, and Margaret. It's a great pleasure to see you guys involved in the conversation and the discussion, giving your input, giving your experiences.
Probably.
It means a lot to our team as we go through that stuff.
Yeah, probably
But
stinky, but
what I'd
it
love
I
to
feel like
do
it could still look better.
today is talk a little bit about
Stuff always
mounts.
looks better than it does on stream, always.
Yay. Is this where I get to finally ride my turtles?
Oh, should we
6,000
ride turtles? So okay, well before we
KBPS
get
doesn't
into
do
some
much for
turtles,
it.
The suspense.
let
Man, they
us
really
discuss a
wind
little
up
bit.
these
Actually, I'm gonna
videos.
turn my UI on. By the way, our standard disclaimer: UI is placeholder. A lot of things need polish, so keep that in mind. There's really been no polish, and the UI is placeholder, and you might see bugs. So, yes, but
Man, they really need to reiterate
but
that
getting
stuff
a little
lot.
bit into mounts. So just to kind of inform you guys who are unaware, we have a few types of mounts. We have flying mounts that are kind of restricted to royalty
Flying
status.
mounts are extremely
individuals.
rare.
Those are mayors and kings and queens of castles and legendary rare drops from legendary bosses. Those are the mounts that are capable of flying. You may only ever see 10 to 20 or so on a server at any given time. And then we also have our land mounts.
I
And land
kinda
mounts
like
come
that,
in
to be
three
honest
specific,
myself.
tiers, and each tier kind of has additional benefits. Those mounts have abilities and they have skills that kind of get leveled up with the mount, and they can potentially glide.
Yeah, it's something
they can do
special
cool
rather than just
roll
everyone
effects,
has
they
it and that
can,
kind of thing.
just kind of do a whole interesting amount of things, and that's really tied to our animal husbandry system. So players will have an opportunity to kind of breed specific types of mounts and stats and skills and all that kind of stuff. You have a really unique twist on what's available out there. But additionally, outside of the land mounts and the flying mounts, we also have water mounts. And I love water mounts. Don't you guys love water mounts?
I really do.
As long as I guess I can do both. If it was like water only, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Well, maybe if it goes underwater, maybe
Sometimes there
I
can
don't know.
be weird mechanics for them that makes
Yeah,
it
you
hard
can
to,
like
swim.
breed the mounts
like
and stuff
ours.
and all that.
Absolutely. So why don't we do a little demonstration of some tide snappers? What do you
Gotta
think?
give
Now,
ourselves some
what's a
space.
tide snapper exactly?
What is a tide? Oh, there we go. We got a tide snapper.
That.
Here it comes.
Oh my gosh, we have multiple tide snappers. I'm just gonna kind of walk next to you guys.
So they move really
So as you
slow
can
on
see,
land.
the tide snappers.
Oh,
Yeah, the tide snappers are relatively slow unless they are fully submerged within water. And as you can see, they're not really in the water quite yet. Oh, there's a little spurt of water. Oh, another little spurt of water. And I'm kind of in.
I like turtles.
I love the,
It's
the
cool,
foam.
I like
right here
turtles.
is this wave of foam lapping up on the beach. It's so beautiful.
Oh, there's
I'm
a coastal frolic.
free.
All right, let me jump on a tide snapper as well. Here we go. So as you can see, it's super
That
slow
kid
on
knew what
land,
was up.
but once you get into the water submerged on an aquatic mount, you actually pick up some speed.
All right, good. We can get this water mount, and we can go to the edge of the
I'm
map,
walking. I'm still walking.
somewhere we shouldn't go, where it's
Why
going
am
to
I
try and
going
kill
down?
us for going too far.
Yeah. Yay, and you can go under the water.
Okay, so
Oh,
it
we're
can swim
the water.
underwater. Okay, I like
This is
that.
amazing.
I didn't know if it was just going to be a surface water mount or if it went underground or like
Watch your breath.
underground, under the
Yeah,
water.
don't drown.
Like there's depth it can go
Seven
down.
takes.
Yes.
You
I don't
gotta
know if
show
I
them
like the blur.
barrel
The
roll.
barrel roll.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the barrier?
All right, don't do a barrel roll. Ready?
Do a barrel roll.
Hey! Hey, that was good. So, I mean, you know, some of the great things about the aquatic mounts is there's a lot of sea content planned in Ashes of Creation. And that sea content will include ships of different classes. It'll include raid bosses and treasures and underwater dungeons. And all of these things will be made much more accessible if you are atop an aquatic mount, like this amazing Tide Snapper.
I guess that's the
So-
animation it
Oh,
does
sorry.
when it
I know
goes
a lot of
up.
people have questions like, will aquatic mounts be able to go as far as like big ships can go and things like that?
So yes, aquatic mounts will be able to fully traverse the naval areas in
I wonder
water
what the
areas
speed is
in
with an
Ashes.
aquatic mount versus a boat.
So an
Oh,
intrepid
that speed
explorer
on
could
land
choose
is
to
so
traverse
slow.
on his tide snapper alone.
Correct. As a matter of fact, there are going to be cool and fun things that you can do out solo in the waters as a adventurer atop an aquatic mount.
I feel like on land, the
I feel like
tide snapper should,
underwater
dig a
exploration
hole
isn't done
and then
enough.
bury an egg.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Last game I remember
This
playing
guy
that
doesn't
had
really
any really, it was Rift.
No.
As a matter of
Scared.
WoW
fact,
might have, but I didn't really do it
he
there.
is a turtle, but he's actually a tortoise, a land
Yeah,
tortoise.
turtles versus tortoises.
Yeah, he's a galactic tortoise.
Fancy
So
back.
he likes space, honestly, as you can see inside of his shell. There is some.
Each of
some
those is its
spatial
own
areas,
dimension.
and As you kind of move him around, that space changes a little bit. It's kind of cool. But if you get him close to water, he really
move
doesn't
very
like that.
much.
So he kind of escapes into his shell, and you're like, "Where are you, friend?" He's like, "All right, I guess it's safe."
That's got to be one of my favorites.
It's,
It's
so,
so
cute.
cute.
I wonder if there's any that do both, like kind of reasonably.
Yeah, I like him. Oh, I like the Swiftclaw too.
I like the
Mouse
lizard, to
brand,
be honest,
because
man.
All of our mounts are so.
Or the iguana or whatever it is.
Oh, absolutely. And to demonstrate kind of the difference. So
Raptor's
you
cool,
see,
but I
as a
kinda like
land mount,
reptile mounts.
He's relatively fast on land. But if you take him into the water, he slows down. And he's like, but I must swim. I
Okay,
don't
so
want
they
to
can all
swim."
at least go in the water a
He
little
slows down,
bit.
but he still
It sucks in an MMO
Yeah, he
when
does,
you
of
like
course. Matter of fact, you take him
go
underwater.
against the like across a small lake and your mount just goes off, like ESO or something.
Slowly.
So many.
He sounds like he can't breathe though.
No, he has
the poor
asthma.
raptor back there.
He's
Violet's
struggling.
like, aww.
Violet's
See,
so
look at the raptor.
Aw, but look at it swimming. It's so cute.
It does look pretty awesome.
Man, that blur underwater is crazy.
Run out of breath.
What are some of the games you guys have played that have had?
I'd be maybe okay with
awesome
it blurring in
mounts
the
and aquatic
distance
mounts?
rather than your character. I don't know.
For me, not so much the mounts, but when I'm playing
Show
WoW
walking no
and
more.
playing my druid, I really love my seal form. Just being able to run at full speed, jump in that water, and also move at full speed is just great.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
feeling.
It's just cool to change form yourself too. It's really neat.
Without stopping, like that's my favorite part of it.
Yeah, like it automatically does it. It's neat.
What about you guys?
For me, it's less of mounts
Cool,
and
raptor.
stuff, but I don't know if you guys have played Sea of Thieves, but I really like their like water combat and the way that their ships work and stuff like that.
The ocean
Yeah, I
definitely
think-
feels like a terrifying place in that game. The sense of danger that comes along with that.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job sort of modeling that like real authentic ocean experience.
Yeah, my experience in MMOs with underwater combat and things
I like
of
the
that
raptor
sort have
way the
not been
raptor swims.
greatest.
Agreed.
Underwater
Yeah.
combat is never great. It feels like I think there's a couple games that have done it okay, but I still think it's one of those things you've got to really. Pay
Guys, I
attention to
wasn't
and
expecting
nail
a whole
and spend lot
gameplay
of
video
time
about
with,
mounts, though.
because otherwise, if you just phone it in, it just feels bad, man.
Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of, in my opinion, attempts at water combat and or water content that hasn't felt very good traditionally in MMORPGs. But I will give credit where credit is due. ArcAge, I felt, did have a really fun naval content, both from a raid boss perspective as well as the interaction of those ships.
Yeah, those ships were a lot of fun.
Yeah, the ships were a lot of fun for sure.
I didn't do enough of that in
let me
Arcade
show-
to get to that like big naval stuff.
I think I have another.
I had like a little raft
I
I
wonder what the bear
used.
looks like
I think
in
moved
water.
fast though.
The brew bear. I was
where
thinking
are
he
you?
has some
Wow.
seawater in his barrels.
I'm on one of these little islands over here.
I think we're all together, but we're not with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're
agree,
all
Steve.
here
Yeah,
without
where
you.
Steven
What
go?
happened?
Where did you go?
I was dancing around thinking.
Oh,
that
I
we were
think I see
recording
him
me.
over here. You guys, over this way.
I don't know.
I
These
just
feel a
caught
little
fish. I'm guessing
too.
it's going to be a red snapper.
Maybe because it's in development, they don't have too much to talk about right now. But it feels a little.
tortoise that's approaching.
Yes, my tortoise is hungry.
Do I have a bear?
You can get a bear.
Well, let's
Yeah.
try the Daystrider first. So this is a mule. Mules have some cargo capacity. First of all, the
Oh, yeah,
mule
the information
is
is
very
nice, though.
excited. The Daystrider is very. Oh, look at its eyelashes. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Hey girl,
gotta
what
keep
kind
all
of
those-
mascara you using?
Yeah, but she's
all
super
natural.
excited to get in the water. Yay!
What is that?
Oh my gosh, I just see now
It's
what
a
you're saying.
taste strider, man.
Angle, those eyelashes.
It's like
are
a
massive.
long-legged
Let's see if
keep
she-
all the bugs
eater
out, you
horse zebra.
Oh, question.
she's super
I know
tall.
that someone had asked this before.
The
which
way it
was,
swims is
will
goofy
different
as
mounts
hell.
have different speeds.
Yes.
Like because this is like a pack mule, will it have a different speed and be slower?
So mounts traditionally will have stat groups and or speeds associated with their first baseline stat and then augmented based on their rarity from a drop status or from the
That's how I swim. Yeah, you
profession
got
of
some
animal
long-ass
husbandry
legs
that
then,
players,
Sneaky.
have available to them.
What kind of things will they be able to control in regards
It's all about that
to,
reptile mount.
animal husbandry and creating those mounts?
So outside of the visual differences that are going to be available, they will also have an impact on the health, the types of skills, the speed that's available, the damage mitigation. They'll have influence over...
There's a lot of different stats.
I think that's primarily the main stat groups. I guess, from a combat perspective, they'll also have influence over the traditional stat groups. So like...
Which one goes the
combat
fastest though?
effectiveness,
That's what I want to know.
accuracy, the type
Gotta
of
go
level of damage that the
fast.
skills can do, that kind of stuff.
I don't know, man. I
see if I
doubt
can
the
find
sea
it.
turtle is the fastest.
Don't worry, I'll just be here fishing.
You should have a bear poke.
Exactly.
Do I have a bear poke? I think I have a bear. Hold on, I have tortoise, I have tide snappers. Oh, brew bear. Got him. Got him. Let's take him out. Oh. And he's swimming. Oh, he swims
It's pretty
funny.
fast.
He's like stretching. It's like, what do I do? Let's take him underwater.
Aw.
Oh, that's great. I like his little swims.
Oh, that's so
It's like
cute.
he's trying to
Yeah,
climb through
that
the
is cute.
water.
Like, what do I do?
You need to get my beer.
Do
He's like,
bear
"Let me outta
swim?
here."
Yeah, my
It's
rum
like
is
a
getting
giant
tainted by the
doggy
salt water.
paddle.
Aw,
I hope
it's
they have
kinda
another video
fancy, I
besides
like
this,
it.
if I'm honest. Like, the seeing the mounts is cool, but this is a long video.
I think I have,
They could show us this stuff in a lot shorter of a format.
Let me see here.
Do you have our little otter boy?
Which one?
Tidebreaker?
Yeah, the tidebreaker.
The tiebreaker. I was on the tiebreaker, I thought.
As a tide snapper.
Yeah, Tide Snapper. Tide Breaker is the
Oh.
like otter one.
I don't have the
I don't know if that
Tidebreaker.
one's in here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in this build.
It might be. I can try to give myself a Tidebreaker. Hold on.
I feel nervous now.
It's gonna be like some monstrosity that's.
Oh no, it mutes the sound when you alt
I
tab.
don't
God,
know if I
no.
have. That's a very good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Guys,
go around
we're
the
gonna.
corner.
Oh yeah, go around the corner.
Just gonna hide. If we see like a giant Tide Snapper from
He's
behind,
bobbing
like...
the music while swimming. Me attention span.
All right, I
Show
am
me
going to-
fighting.
gonna
Yeah,
attempt to
I want to
Kind of
see
make my
like
dragon swim.
actual gameplay, like combat
Swim?
and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, it does
I'm
swim.
gonna
The dragon does
Here
swim.
we go.
Oh,
Kind of
look at it.
swimming.
Look at it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yes.
pretty.
Swim with it. Swim.
The wings are a little weird. I don't think they're done yet, but
No.
it's cute.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Our
Looks
animation
fine to
team
me.
is probably like, oh my gosh, they're showing.
I
us
know.
something new." They don't want anyone to see. But in regards to mounts and flying mounts, are you expecting them to be?
I
able to
know, like
swim
I
at the
said, the
same pace
announcement
as,
I'm
like,
really looking
other
forward to
creatures in the
is
water?
one is Alpha
So,
One
no,
that
so
people can
aquatic
stream
creatures in
coming
the
out.
water will have the absolute best.
'Cause that'll be a-
speed and
that'll be a whole
performance
different
and
story.
Water-specific skills. I see Jeff's over here.
Yeah, we're creeping on him. It's like he's got to go pee, so he's like hiding behind the rock.
Hang on.
I have a tide.
While he's on the
snapper, and
mount?
I have
At least no.
Tide snapper. I tried to give myself the tide breaker, and that did not happen.
That's okay.
Yeah, so that's not available.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. I mean,
Ooh,
just
not
to,
letting me.
to give you, yeah, go for fish. There's I mean, guys, just to give you again an idea, you know,
I think this
Ashes
will be
has
okay
a
on
lot
YouTube,
of
but on-
obviously complex systems, but they're all intended
stream,
to provide the players interaction points. Basically, agency.
Hey, this is stuff I wouldn't
over,
mind to see. This
you
is
know,
cool
how
stuff, but it's
your
not
world
like
exists around you, and that includes the
what I
types
wanna
of animals
spend
that you can have
30
as
minutes
pets and
doing.
mounts. Through the
I said it'd be a
professional
long stream, so maybe there's more
and,
stuff they're going
the
to talk about that's
acquisition of these
interesting.
things. And they're diverse. They're not just, you know, monolithic mounts. There are specific mounts for specific areas, like the.
You better
aquatic
believe there's
mounts,
people
or
who are
the
going to
land
have
mounts, or
like a
flying
3-hour
gliding
long
mounts.
stream
These
talking
are all
about
obviously
the
very
stuff
fun.
in
Oh
this,
my
though.
God. Did you just dive into the water with a griffin?
I think she did.
I did.
Oh.
Hey
my
Toast,
God.
have you seen any like other questions
This
about
like
mouse
20, 30
specifically
minute
that you
video,
think
there's going to be
we,
people like 3 to
Steven could
5
answer?
hour video or stream of it.
I'll have to think about that one. I
Okay.
think the one that you asked earlier.
Some
about
people
the
can
different
really
species
stretch
was a
out
big
some
one.
content, man.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that asked a few times.
Let me
And then
see,
of course, people want more details on the abilities and how they can modify them through animal husbandry.
Yeah,
But I don't know if
absolutely.
we're ready to go into all the details on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be kind of developed on that side before we can give like super great.
I feel
answers
like
on
it's
that.
too early to
Test it,
really do
absolutely.
these dev streams
Ooh,
with.
what about mounts that?
I
can
guess
have
it's better
multiple
to do
people
them
on
and have them be a little like this and not have them at all.
The group mounts, absolutely. So that was a part of our, I think a part of our Kickstarter stretch goals was the group mount. And the cool thing about the group,
Group mounts, huh?
is they're going to
How
have
many?
specific functionality that relates to multiple people, obviously. And they're also going to provide some pretty cool benefits, I think, that will make them stand out from traditional single-player mounts and kind of functions that the writers have available to them while they're writing based off of certain skills. So like
like
normal
quest
mounts,
acquired.
single-player mounts will have specific
I guess
skills
that's
that
the
you level
quest
up
tracker for
that
now.
pertain to you as the writer, whereas the group mounts will
Talk to
have specific
Sergeant.
skills that can only be utilized
Kill
by
6.
characters who
Okay, I
are
can't see it
currently
anymore.
in the seat of a passenger position. So there'll be unique passenger
UI is
positions
very
that have
minimalistic
correlating
right now.
skills. Let me see if I can dive down. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, I'm swimming on this guy too.
Escort caravan.
He's just like,
Escort Quest Linty. There
Now
you
I
go.
wanna,
This
like,
is the
create
game
a
for you,
serpent,
man.
Like a big serpent creature.
Like a water serpent?
Yeah, like a big water
Ooh.
serpent.
A leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan.
That was funny,
yes.
Jeff. yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. You guys have anything else you want to chat about with the mounts and whatnot?
I guess
Escorting like a caravan,
we
though,
do get a
that
lot
might
of
be
questions in
cool.
regards to,
Especially
like,
if there's
cosmetics
PvP
and how
involved.
people can apply those to different mounts and like which ones apply to which.
Horse armor?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys know, we do absolutely zero pay to win whatsoever, and we'll never have pay to win in Ashes of Creation. However, with that being said, when you have a cosmetic skin that applies to certain mounts, you must
Horse
achieve
armor.
that base mount first in the game. So we're not actually, selling power or anything like that, or you're not achieving,
All
essentially
right, we
these
got horse
cosmetics to
armor
replace
memes
the
for this
in-game
game.
achievement.
Very good.
Now, the cosmetics themselves will be applied to specific types of mounts. Remember, there's 3 tiers of land mounts, there's aquatic mounts, and cosmetics will apply based off of those tiers. So if it's a flying base kind of cosmetic that's capable of being on a gliding mount, you can apply that flying skin to that tier 2 mount.
For a limited time thing, you'd be
It's
getting a
kind of
cosmetic
horse-related
for?
one here. Let me see if I have another horse one.
Then you lose your mount like 2 days later or something. You're not able to get it back or
This could be
something.
applied to tier 1 mounts, which you can get pretty early on
Horse armor.
in the game. Now, let me see if I have a... I think I have a Midnight Mare.
Kind of want to see the chat a little bit.
I hope so.
I do.
Any horse armor memes? Where's my horse armor memes?
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah. Oh, Toast
No,
has
it's
one
not.
too.
Okay, no horse
Horse
armor
armor's
memes. A little disappointed in this
I
chat.
didn't buy one.
Little too wholesome.
Not
I
buying
know.
Not
every
enough
mount in the
memeing.
shop, rookie.
Well, what more do I need other than my turtle?
You need every mount. Come on. Be a true collector.
But yeah, so we just wanted to jump in, guys, give you another little development update, showcase some of the aquatic mounts and the mounts in general, and let you know that we are hard at work in continuing development towards Alpha 1, and we're excited to get you guys in.
I feel like they kind of hyped that video up.
So,
I was
that
expecting
being said,
something besides
We'll
mounts.
see you back on the stream, and hope you guys are having an awesome end of your September.
Mounts look cool though.
Oh, we're in
can't
fall.
believe
A
by
lot
the
of
way.
variety.
It's in
There's
fall.
flying mounts, there's
September.
aquatic mounts.
Yeah.
All of them can do like
It's nuts.
kind of everything, but some of them are
All
slower
right,
and
guys,
stuff.
have
So
an awesome day.
I think the mount
We'll see
stuff
you
is
soon.
good, but
Bye, everybody.
if I'm gonna have a video that long, I'd rather have it be
Yeah, bye
more
and hello.
other things.
All right. With that, we hope that you enjoyed a little bit of content about mounts. I know we preempted that it was going to be about mounts, so hopefully people were prepared for that. But
Did they?
there was some conversation. I hope that we answered quite a few questions that you guys had throughout the stream in regards to the mounts specifically. And like I said, this is going to be a long
remember
stream. We
that.
got a lot more content to show you all. But in regards
okay.
to the underwater
That's good.
viewing, people were having questions about underwater visibility and what that's going to look like. And
Yes.
I'll have a further question after that.
Yeah, so absolutely. So there's a few things to know about the underwater visibility. Obviously, this is a very
Can you wear goggles?
first pass approach on the ocean, both shader and the post-processing effects that occur when your camera moves under that shader. There are volumes that exist, and the post-processing is essentially adding like a distance fog, out in the water. It's adding a little bit of a blur effect. Those things are going to be revised and perfected as we move forward, just like all the art.
I
as you've
hope they
seen,
realize
over the
that people
past,
don't like that blur
couple
being
of
so
years
goddamn
in
heavy.
progress we've shown. They'll get much better. So this is kind of the first stab at it. Brian Gans and Tristan
Time
Snodgrass,
will
they did a great
tell.
job with the initial implementation of this water shader and the ocean shader itself.
Disagree.
But it'll have a lot more work done to
If
it.
I'm honest,
Yeah, and then
the
next
underwater
question
looks
is
awful.
obviously, will there be an underwater
top looks
combat
okay,
or
but-
mounted combat? And I think we've kind of answered some of this question before, but I know there's a lot of new people in the community, so if you don't mind reiterating.
Absolutely, yeah. So there is underwater combat. There is naval combat with regards to ships. This is obviously a very important part of the ocean content that's out there. There's raid bosses, there's dungeons, there's
caravans.
Exactly, trade ships essentially as you move goods throughout the world. All of this stuff is going to have not just a player versus environment type combat setting, but also player versus player. So it's important that it feels good and fluid. Obviously, a lot of MMOs have tried to get combat right in underwater environments, and as many of us as MMO players know, not a lot have hit the mark. So it's a tall order, one that we're going to be spending a lot of time on trying to get right to feel good. But it's being done early on in development, and
Yeah, it always
and
seems like
hopefully
an
come up with something
afterthought.
that's going to feel pretty good.
Which
And
kind
just
of makes sense
just
because
reiterate, I know a lot
it's
of
such a
people in
small
chat
part
were
of the
saying They
content.
really enjoyed Guild Wars 2 and ArcAge. I saw some EverQuest folks in there as well. I know Jeff and I have worked on the EverQuest franchise before. I think it's just very interesting to see like what other people think and like what you guys like too. So if we were watching the chat, we enjoy hearing it. And of course, you can always join us over on our forums, over on ashesofcreation.com/forums. So you can, so you can go check it out over there and give us your feedback. We always love reading that. Toast does a great job of putting together reports. So thank you. The next question I have here is also if people will be able to craft/make items that allow them to see better underwater.
Probably not see better underwater. You will obviously have items that you
goggles?
can create, craft, and/or that drop that will improve mobility in water, potentially speed in water. There could be buffs for
Flippers?
underwater breath. There, a lot of mechanics
there's gonna
there,
be
but I don't know that we'll probably
a
touch
swimming
the
suit cosmetic.
visibility component of it.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, the
It
blurriness
is
you saw
inevitable.
is just a factor of kind of where do we want to go with it. We're still playing with it. We're trying to figure it out. But I think that visibility is going to be a thing that we want people to have like an even Steven kind of experience with, right? That people aren't necessarily going to be able
the
to see
hotcakes
farther
'cause
than other
gamers.
people based on what their equipment is.
Cool. All right, should we move on to environment? We have a lot of other
Yeah.
stuff. So moving on to the wonderful environment team. They have a lot of stuff for us today. The first thing I'm going to show you are some concepts
Beds.
and then the actual models.
Bunk beds.
So I'll go through these pretty quickly. But we are showing off a lot of the housing stuff as well as node leveling up and what you're going to see in those node houses and things of that sort.
Yes,
so
that is some
even if,
good
Jeff, if you
texture
guys
work on
wanna
the
talk about
bottom
that
right.
while I kind of cycle through all of these, that would be great.
Absolutely. So you see here a bunk bed. As you know, there are family
For
systems.
two dwarves.
For two dwarves, exactly. There is a family system in place, and furniture is an important part of the housing system. Furnitures will offer certain in-game benefits, such as this bed will have a rested experience benefit. However, cool, fun little thing there with that bunk bed is if you have another family member in the bunk bed with you while you sleep together, you get a boosted benefit from the buff. So
What? I didn't know this.
I know, and the same thing's true for the king size bed. If you are married in game and your spouse is sleeping with you in that bed, you get a different type of benefit. Right?
Steven,
Just
oh
like
my
turning
God.
all red.
What? I'm just saying that there's a different type of animal husbandry going on there. So
Oh no, why?
Okay then.
oh my god. What's our ESRB rating?
I think T for teen, so right is what we're going for.
Just cuddling. Just cuddling.
As long as we don't display the, like the Sims vibes, like you can see it, I think we're okay.
Yeah. Those pillows look
What
really
is
comfy,
Sims rated?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Dibs on the bunk bed. I was like, what are you talking about? Find
Got
on
a
the bottom
bookshelf
bunk?
here,
I kind of guessed there was something like that.
and then this is
Yep.
the in-game
Got some
versus.
bookshelves. These are great. I think
In-game version looks kind of.
I think this is
They
Adam
look
Will
so
that did
much
the bookcases.
lighter.
and
Like
maybe
I feel like they should.
furniture as
The
well?
concept art's like a darker tone, and I
believe-
think that looks better.
I'd have to go look at the.
I don't know.
Okay.
Who it was
But
on
they
the thing.
did, whoever on the environment team did a great job with these. They capture, I think, the type of
old.
visual aesthetic you would expect from a Dunir traditional dwarven type of furniture.
Now when I see the single bed, I'm sad
Or
for
that
them.
stone.
Well,
No buffs for you.
No buffs for you.
I know they
But you
get
get
above,
rest.
just
You
lesser.
get rest XP, right, or something.
Yeah, they don't have the potential to create children, right? And the children is part of the orphanage system. That
Stop with the orphanage.
Then when a no gets siege,
when a node gets siege and the house,
your
is,
house is
destroyed,
destroyed.
your child that you created via the bed actually gets put into an orphanage. Now,
He said this a million times. Like he's really trying to sell Jeff and I were like, no, this is bad.
That'd be
Oh,
messed
sorry.
up, man. Could you
my heart.
imagine?
are you sorry?
I'm just
You raid
messing,
a
I'm
city and then
Oh,
there's
I
just
know
a
you're
bunch
just
of
messing.
orphans left over.
So yeah, lots of cool
What the
items.
fuck?
There's so many more items being created, and obviously this is like dwarven sets. There's a lot of all the different races that you're gonna see, but we just kind of really wanted to show you guys some of this stuff. You've also seen some concept art of some of these, but now you're seeing the models from our previous episodes of our development updates. So if you've been
Yeah,
following
just took
along with
the
our
city
journey for a
over.
long
It's
time,
supposed to be hype,
you've
not
gotten
feeling
to see
bad.
all of it. Maybe we could do like a montage whenever we launch of like the
I
journey.
really hope so.
That'd be really cool. I think I would really like that.
Absolutely.
Next up, some amazing concept art. that is just
yeah.
chef's kiss. So if you want to talk a little bit about kind of what we're
The fuck
going
was
for,
that, his dog?
and all these different pieces, I'll walk through them.
Yeah.
That's
so as you
pretty
guys
looking.
saw in the video, obviously we're in a little bit of a tropical environment, but part of the Alpha 1 presentation at the end of this year is going to largely be in a tropical bay type area of the map. So, you know, these concept images that
looks cool.
I believe these were done by Ryan Richmond. They provide the environment artists kind of sample biomes that they can target both the creation of foliage and these trees, the
That's really good
layout
for
of,
concept art,
you know,
man.
different bayous that might exist or inlets. That really kind of create, I think, a compelling atmosphere for this kind of tropical shore beach environment, and it's a lot of fun. I think really just to explore. But here you get to see kind of the early concepts, and then as we move into Alpha 1, you'll start to
that
see
one
the
looks cool.
representation in the actual game world.
What happens
Yeah,
if
it's kind
that
of funny
falls in
that
the ship,
first
though?
screenshot of
Oh, yeah, I can go
the
back.
first concept
Yeah, I
piece.
can go back.
I thought that was an in-game shot. That's kind of
It
what
looks
the
like
world
that
is really
in-game
looking
if you-
at, like right now.
That
Yeah.
doesn't look
You
in
could have
game.
fooled
That
me
looks
based
too
on
good
what
to
we're
be
seeing
in game.
So, so kudos to
I'll
everybody.
believe that
it's
when I
coming
see it
together
myself.
Really nicely. Our designers are hard at work trying to populate this area. It's going to be
Absolutely.
a lot of fun, I think.
And one of the things really, like you're
Yeah,
seeing
I
these
think this
types
is
of
better.
rock formations present. In another game that I played where you
The
had
game's not gonna look that good.
ships
That's
and ship content,
baloney.
it was really cool. A certain part of the map
Like
had
the
this
game might look good,
kind of
but
rock
not as good as that
formation
concept art.
you know, was similar here.
There's
And
no
I thought that
fucking way.
presented a really fun environment for PvP.
I mean, he's not saying it looks like that exactly.
and
He's
you know,
not
that's
saying
one
that,
of the
but saying
components
you
of
thought
this
it was,
environment
that's kind of no
that's going to
way,
be
man.
incorporated.
Unless you like
having those types of
glanced at
rock
it for like a
formations. It's
split
also
second,
high fantasy
maybe.
type of, you know, look too.
A lot of cool vertical space that we can use as designers to kind of change things up and make things feel really cool and different. You
Yeah,
know, when you're
I like
a ship
verticality.
and you're coming
The
into
game
port,
design
right?
or
You gotta
world
kind of
design.
watch out what's on top of those rocks and make sure that you're safe and that nobody's going to drop in on you. So it's pretty
That's
cool.
something I don't think a lot of
Really awesome.
games that have
So
open
mad
worlds do
props
very
to
well
our
is vertical
environment team
design.
who has
It's been getting
been
better.
just
Xenoblade
pumping
Chronicles X
out
is my
some
first
amazing,
big impression. Then Breath of the
content, whether
Wild.
that be, like, the
Genshin's
little
pretty good
tiny
with
pieces that
vertical
you're
too.
seeing in the houses and in the structures and in the buildings themselves, and then obviously getting the feel and concept down of these spaces, and then being able to create those spaces that you're going to be experiencing. It's been very, very cool to
I
see
hope
that
that
come to fruition.
continues to be a trend.
So as we, you know, showcase more of it, you guys actually
What you
saw
see on
parts
TV,
of
yes, Nikki.
this area too in that video. If you go back to the mounts video, so definitely go look at it.
Yeah.
And you'll
The mount
maybe
video
scout
didn't look
out
anything close
where
to
it is in the
this.
space there. I'm going to move on to our character stuff because we still have a lot more content to go through, and we have some Q&A as well. So on to the character. Now, Steven did do a little sneak peeky of our beautiful Ram Strider here, but oof, this is such a beautiful
Yeah,
piece.
he randomly
Jinsey
posts
is
their
one of
stuff on
our,
Discord sometime.
Artists, and she's just
Sometimes.
she does that all. She does it from like
Yeah.
like not even concept, but like just creating it out of her crazy mind, which I love, her beautiful crazy mind, and then all the way to like animating the piece and getting it in game in that regard.
no,
So
Whopper, none.
it is just amazing to.
Boy,
see
Dynamite
it.
made these mounts.
So I don't know if you want to talk a little
Is that a
about,
bad thing, though,
this little
Sneaky?
bad boy, but I'll show off the different angles of it.
That'd be amazing if a lighter was actually
Ram
next.
Strider is again like a tamed mount, effectively. These guys are things that you're going to find in the wild, also raised by people who raise such animals, and they're going to be a fun, cool-looking mount for folks.
Yeah. Whenever I see that guy,
Steven.
that's what I think of him.
I didn't even hear
Whenever I see him.
That's what you were doing. I was
Awesome.
wondering what you were doing on your phone. I was like,
That's a big
Oh.
mount. I love it.
ah.
Oh, he is thick though. But no,
he
Jinsey
is.
does it. Jinsey does a great job, obviously, with these mounts, and you know, this is
Motherfucker.
just kind of another example of really the vast array of possibilities that come with the mount systems. I mean, mounts are such a cherished and beloved aspect of MMORPGs, at least everyone I've ever played, And it's really cool to have a very in-depth system, I think, to facilitate really complex and unique aspects to what players can acquire.
I don't
what
know.
they can
Mounts
collect.
haven't felt
And
like a giant
that's
part of the
obviously
game for me.
A huge portion of what many of us as
They're
players
definitely
drive
important,
for
but
in Ashes or in MMOs.
And we also just want to make sure that, this feels like a fantasy world. This doesn't feel like Earth. There's some things that are familiar, but then there's other things that just are out of this world. And that's kind of
giant part for a
where
lot
we
of
get to
people.
play a lot in fantasy
Never was to me.
worlds.
Yeah, I
And
feel
we
like
wanna
it's
make
not
sure
just
that we
me,
don't
but I
kind
feel
of
like there
fall
are
into these
people who
sort
would
of
definitely enjoy
staid kind of
mounts, and more so than
traditional
just mounts, animal
expectations. We
husbandry
want to be able
with
to
the mounts.
change it up every once in a while.
It's just
one of those
the
places.
style of player, I
Yeah.
suppose.
If you just had like a full body,
Some people like
pillow
collecting
plush
those
of
things
this
and just having
creature
every
that just
possible
was,
ones
like,
they
in your
could.
bed with you, that would be just
I don't know about the horns.
Would you get a
though.
buff?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I was talking about in real life, Jeff. I don't
Oh,
know if you get a
But I do think that this is amazing. And obviously, we
Does
have
it
a lot
go-
of mounts that we've been
does it go
showing
fast,
off,
or-
and we'll have many more that are attainable in game too. So don't worry about that.
That's
so
what I
with
need.
that,
Does it
we
go
also have
fast?
saddles that we have created, and these are
Horse
other pieces
armor.
that you can put on your mounts. So
So
I
give
don't know
me
if you
more
wanna kinda
inventory
talk a little bit
space?
about that. Obviously, this is one of the pieces.
That's what I want.
that
You see, I
some
care
of you
about
have probably
the
seen
effect
before,
this stuff
but there's
does.
going to be many other mount, saddles and barding that
sure.
you're going to see coming in as well.
Yeah, mount equipment is obviously very important, as is battle gear for pets. These are gear
Ooh,
chases
pets get
for
battle gear.
your pets, and your pets are an extension of you, really. So, being able to kit them out with good gear is something that players strive to attain. And this is an example of kind of how those gears are partitioned on the mount itself. This is obviously a saddle that, in my opinion, looks very good, and I would love to have that on my horse.
It's
Yeah.
Bayloon style, right?
So there are questions in regards to
Yeah, I think
saddles
so.
and if saddles will provide any extra benefit to people. Obviously, I think
Yeah.
this is a cosmetic one, so this would not give you a benefit. It would just be a
Oh,
cosmetic you would
That
put
looks like
over
it
the
should give me a
saddle that you
little bit of
currently have.
inventory space.
Right,
Those
so you would
patches
have
and
to
stuff.
obtain the saddle item itself, and then you can apply the cosmetic to that item. So again, we don't actually
Oh,
I
provide
see.
through the cosmetic power, right? Exactly. Now, all gear has stat modifiers, so they adjust the stat of the mount and or pet, and then additionally, some gear based on its rarity will add additional effects. That could be a base increase of speed for a particular
That's what I want.
piece of set, or could be
Speed
damage
or inventory
mitigation
speed.
for the saddle and or body armor.
If I'm fast,
those
I don't
types of
need damage
things,
mitigation.
are going to be present on more legendary gear and equipment.
They can't
That's
catch me. They can't
Look
hit
at my
me.
horse. My horse is amazing. Cool. Yeah. I think that answers that. I don't know if there was any other one that I saw in chat. But moving on from there, we're going to move into some armor pieces. And I know, Jeff, you kind of want to talk a little bit about armor on males versus females as well. As you saw in the mount video, you could see that Violet, Light, and Jeffrey were both wearing the same armor, but there was like a little bit
Speed
of
over all
differences
else.
between their armor as well.
Speed is all that
Yeah,
matters
so
to
I just wanted
Sneaky.
to point out, if you take a look at that video again,
What if
Violet
it
Light
helps
and
stealth,
myself
Sneaky?
are wearing exactly the same armor set, right? Same stats, same everything, but it drops for her, it looks one way, it drops for me, it looks another way, and a big part of that is a small part of that is gender, but then the other part of it is race. So because I was of a loon,
Well, that
in
makes sense.
playthrough,
That's how it should be.
my armor was
It'd be
in the
shitty if it
Vaylin
was anything
style.
but that.
And when she picked it up, it was in the elven style because she was an elf. So that kind of gives you an example of sort of the breadth of looks that we're going for and how we kind of try to capture who you are as a character.
Yeah,
and kind of allow
that's
you
good.
To kind of build
It'd be
your look
shitty
that
if there
way.
was like
So,
race specific
And a lot of
armors
games
or
have
gender
kind of taken that
specific,
direction.
or
As a matter of
that'd
fact,
be
the
stupid.
inspiration for that particular approach came from my experiences with Lineage 2. I really enjoyed how they kind of had subtle differences between different races and genders wearing the same thematic set. And you would see obviously a crossover with the theme, whether that be the materials and or textures and the color palettes, like that would maintain across races and genders, but there would be essentially a different representation of
Less
that.
armor is more armor.
So that's a similar
This isn't the
approach that
Korean
that
MMO,
we're taking
Sneaky.
with regards to the armor sets in Ashes of Creation. It's that you're going to have one set that can be traded, can be sold, can be crafted, and then as that set is equipped by different races and or genders, it's going to have subtle differences between them.
It's always exciting for me when I hear you talk about games that I've worked on too, and I'm like, oh, Lineage 2.
Yeah.
It's exciting anyway, no matter who's talking about it. But it's, to me, whenever Steven does, I'm like, aw. So this is the Dwarven set that we have, and it's very cool looking. I think Steven also might have leaked this to some folks on the Discord as well. I'm not sure if it was everybody, but
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
I have bruises from last week.
No, stop it.
There are places you can't see.
Another
though.
thing that was leaked. So we have the Empyrean cloth armor that you can see here, the back and the front. So I'll kind of go through that again.
Yeah, and this kind of gives you also an understanding of some capes. I know that some people saw a little bit of a representation of capes in Apocalypse, but here you can see kind of the diversity that we're going to have among the capes. You're going to have one shoulder capes, you're going to have full body capes, you're going to have cloaks and whatnot, and these are all kind of encompassing the back slot item.
I mean,
you can
I like
also
the
choose,
one on the
even if you
left,
have
the
it
one on the
equipped, because they
right,
will have stats. You can choose not to have them visible if you wish. If you wish to have a different back slot kind of presented, whether that be a shield or a weapon, that's going to be something left to the players.
All right, and then
Yay,
moving
options.
into,
Options are good. Jesus, fuck.
This is the female one, I believe.
Garbage, don't
You can
want.
see it.
Enjoy that
Textures.
alarm that hopefully scared the shit out of you.
And then I will show you all the male version here. And they're in a T-pose because that's like.
Oh, we need to tighten up that waist a little bit. That's a big costume. I haven't had an opportunity to review these, but these look good. I love them.
Yeah, they're all work in progress, and they did send everything to me as work in progress.
That one looks alright, except
keep in
that I don't
mind,
like
this
their
is a development
headgears.
update stream. This is all work in progress. None of this is final. As we've said a couple times already throughout the stream.
The armors are alright, but the
video as well.
headgear's like where it's just
And
like their
then
hairs
that
in there or
is
something.
another render. This is Valoon instead of Empyrean, whereas the other one was Empyrean. So we showed you Empyrean and Valoon now. And
Yeah, I love this.
yeah, I love the like gold like panel plating. It's very interesting. And then we've got some
Let me turn
Kalar
that down a little
faces.
bit.
This is the male work in progress faces that are being worked on. Obviously these are work in progress. But you've seen, I think there's been a lot of commentary
Left
about
one
like,
looks
our
like a chill
models, and
guy.
I know
The
that
right
they're working
one
through
looks
all
like
the
he's staring
models
into
and
my
kind of
soul
giving them
without
all,
eyes.
updates. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's as you're creating the game the size of Ashes of Creation. An MMORPG in and of itself is one of the largest projects you can do in gaming. But Ashes of Creation, I think, takes it to the next level because we have a lot of ambition in our systems and features that we want to provide the players.
Necromunda headgear? What do you
here
mean?
you're seeing as
They have
we
crazy
continue
shit in that, don't they?
development, these
I have
base
no soul
models
either.
for the
He
different
has nothing to
races
stare
will
at them.
continue to get refined further. And as we eventually get to the character creator stage, where you're going to see a lot of customization and flexibility in the deformations that are available, both from a character facial perspective as well as the overall body perspective, our goal is to aim for the stars in what is possible on the character creator front. And that requires a lot of custom work on essentially setting the parameters of the extreme sides of the spectrum on where players can deform targets on their character.
I guess my cam kind of blocks them, huh?
Character
Should I
creator.
maybe move it?
So this is just continual work moving forward on these base body models to facilitate
Wait,
the
what?
goals we have with the character creator itself.
And this one is specifically Kalar if folks are interested in the race. And with that, that is...
I see that somebody said that I like the bald Asmongold look.
Yeah. People are like, we like the bald. Everyone in chat, I saw that quite a few times.
Is Asmongold that bald? I don't think so. I haven't seen his stream in a while, but
Not better.
You guys are funny.
It's better though, isn't it?
With that, I think we're gonna swap into our Q&A segment. I tried to get through all of the content really quickly because I know that we had a long video in there. So hopefully you guys enjoy the development update as far as that goes. We're gonna grab some of our
Find out
questions
my block
from
game. What was
the
block game where it was
forums.
before?
So first and foremost, it's going to be our one from Unknown1 on the forums, which asked, what prevents someone from having their friends or guild members kill them to reduce their corruption and give them back their gear/items after death?
You'd still have the death penalty, wouldn't you?
nothing would prevent that. If they are capable of successfully hiding away from the bounty hunters that can locate them on a map, and they are capable of being killed, then yes, that is a way potentially that you could
could manage to remove corruption. However, there's significant risk with that, obviously, and there's significant downfalls with the death penalties that get applied to a corrupt character. So they're not subverting the penalty per se. They are mitigating the risk on the drop of particular gear. But essentially, the bounty hunter system, because the bounty hunters have the ability to locate corrupt players on the map, that severely kind of impacts the ability for people to move to a safe area with their friends and attempt to avoid the loss of gear. But again, they're still going to suffer those death penalties, and they're still going to have the risk of bounty hunters and even other players locating
I know you
them.
could potentially drop stuff, but is there
All right, cool.
experience penalty? I don't know about that. That doesn't matter when you're max level, is there?
And also, I guess it's two people who had this question, and CFSU, sorry if I pronounce your names wrong, which asked, have you decided whether the world of Vera will be plane or sphere? Able to be circumnavigated, which I think we've had this. I feel like we've had this question maybe before.
Yeah, we have.
But
The answer is
It's a good question.
Yeah, there will not be world wrapping in Ashes of Creation. Yeah.
It's flat.
And then with that, our next question is, will swimming have limiters like stamina to prevent people from swimming all over the place? And this is from Mr. Tea Time.
There will
Like
not be
for deep water swimming, probably is what you're talking about.
Well, there's breath, right? But I think he's maybe referring to like the ability just to swim out in the open water on the surface. And there's not a limitation from a stamina perspective. There is, however, on breath, obviously.
Cool. Oh, and I guess that question has
Is there a
been
way to
answered.
extend
the
your
navigation
breath?
one was answered on in PI, but not publicly.
Got
So
it.
I'm used to hearing the answer, I guess. Our next question is from Bricktop, who wants to know, will there be a hard cap on the number of players that an AoE spell can hit in PvP? Or is it just kind of like in the conal space or in the circular space, depending on the ability?
Undecided.
So we have not come to a conclusion on that yet. We're leaning towards no, but that is going to require additional testing. I know other games that have done that, and this kind of damage AoE mitigation or diminishing returns. And while I believe diminishing returns are appropriate from a CC perspective, I don't believe limiting the number of contacts made for AoE skills is something that feels good as a player.
Yeah, it also kind of changes the way that large scale PvP ends up playing out. Where the AoE becomes kind of limited and doesn't serve as the counterplay against certain types of strategies that it should. So that's kind of, we're still talking about it. There's still decisions to be made there, but that's a big part of it.
There probably should be some kind of limit, but it should probably be a high one.
Will players be able to party duel in addition to 1v1 duel?
I don't see why not. I like the idea of having group versus group. It's essentially just extending that flag out to the active party members. There would be some complication, not complication, but there would be some additional logic necessary if the player were to drop a party per se in the middle of a duel. But I don't see that as being too difficult. So it's something that's on our radar. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a thing that somebody might try to scam, so you'd have to find a way around it, but that's cool. I think it'd be fun to put down a flag and you just battle it out. Our next question from Jalan is, if your node is at war with a node your guildmate lives in, does that stop you from being able to party with your guildmates, raid, and defend your castle if the defensive siege happens during the same period as the node war is happening?
Oh, complicated.
So it won't
Middle dude looks
prevent
confused.
you
Jeff
from
does
being able to
wait, what?
party, and it won't prevent you from participating in co-events that are present. So if the guild affiliation, if the desire of the player is to participate in events, they can still do so, but they'll have to be cognizant of the fact that they're flagged for war with each other.
And Zenmara.
And
oh,
by
go
the way,
ahead.
that is subject to testing and change. There are some complications. Obviously, the affiliation tier, the affiliation structure is complicated because there's so many what we call pseudo factions. Essentially, being a non-faction based game is, in my opinion, great. But you need to provide the opportunity for two
Factions
things:
are
one,
so
for
common in
pseudo-factions to form,
MMOs.
and two, for soft friction to occur between those pseudo-factions, right? And that's what compels players to engage in these types of
WoW type factions I'm
you know,
about.
decisions of friend or
Conflict,
foe,
yeah.
right? And that can help to instigate conflict.
And I think two
But
faction
because
systems
of
are
that
bad.
complexity
Like you need at
in the
least 3.
affiliation system, there are going to be some oddities that form between different affiliations that you may have, and how they can be at odds with one another. It's kind of the philosophy of the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of a theory, right? So we have to play with that from a testing standpoint, and that is subject to change. But it is something that is obviously at the forefront of our minds when it comes to that component.
And I would like to preface that all of the content that we put out is subject to change based on testing, not just that one piece.
That's yeah, sure, yeah.
Some
We
things are
have that.
closer than other things, but yeah, like
Exactly.
we haven't done the full large scale testing yet. That kind of will allow this stuff to kind of fall out, and we'll start to see where the problems are and what we can do to fix them. So
Yeah, for sure.
stay tuned.
I think we did did we do the naval one? I can't remember. So our question from Zenmara is, will naval combat be included in the siege aspect of seaside nodes, with harbors having both defensive and offensive capabilities?
Yeah, I've answered this in the past with regards to nodes that are near the coast.
That'd be
will
cool.
have harbor hooks that develop alongside the node's development. Those harbors will provide obviously ship construction locations. They'll provide
Well, I mean, can
specific
you attack
sea-related
the node
content
with your
and
ships and stuff?
questing.
That'd be cool as
And
fuck.
during a siege of a node that has leveled that harbor up, there will be objectives for the attackers and the defenders to be cognizant of during that siege that reside within the harbor. So there's an opportunity there for ships to engage in part of the siege components when it comes to these events.
I don't know if he's saying that, like, if the
And then
castle's
a
like right
question
on the
from
shore, if
Kels
you could
is, if
directly attack
crafted
the castle,
items
that'd be
will
cool.
on par
But
with
it's just like
best
some
in
other
slot
objective. It's
items.
kind of
Does that mean we will craft legendary quality gear too?
Yes. It's going to require legendary quality crafters to do it.
Yep, and legendary quality materials.
Sure has. Dark Furia wants to know, will gear only have a limited number of times it can be repaired?
Please no. Good.
Gears can be continually repaired. The idea behind
That would
the
be
decay
garbage.
system for gear is not to make it, a background thought,
Money
as
sink.
many MMOs I've experienced in the past have done.
Or
with
drain the
this
economy
trivial,
or the game of
gold
stuff.
component cost of repairing that gear, and that really doesn't scale well. But instead, to make it more material based, whereas materials are obviously going to be the life force of the crafting system. As long as we are capable of placing that additional burden of demand on the material systems, that will also help to contribute to the life force of the gatherers and the processors, and helps to just continue fueling that economy.
Having to repair stuff's annoying, but it
And
helps
then
with
our
the
question
game's
from
like
Nico Tulo
balance of
wants to know,
economy and
can
materials and all that
cap
kind of stuff.
targeted abilities be augmented to become action and combat abilities, and vice versa?
Yes.
I think
Right?
some can, right?
Not really.
Probably not.
No.
He said so last
obviously
time,
there's
or not
there's a
last time, but
complexity
at some
layer
point
that
he did.
exists between balancing action-based abilities and tab-targeted abilities. Now, some abilities, when advanced with additional skill points, can change some of their targeting mechanics.
That's what I was thinking.
So yes.
But that's not going to be a simple flip switch where I get to choose at any moment, hey, I'd like to have this ability be an action ability outside of its tab ability. You'd have to progress the specific ability to a stage where it allows for that. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, and then also we don't want to necessarily mess up somebody's experience based on what they're expecting from a given ability, right? So we want to make sure
What?
that the
Why more mounts?
functionality of the ability makes sense in its progression so that it's still usable by the person who wants to use it, right?
Then I'm going to ask 2 bonus questions as well because a couple of these.
Bonus questions?
Yeah, because
Oh my god!
Steven had mentioned that some of them were he'd already answered, so I want to make sure that we just cover it. So Parsival or Par 551 Fall wants to know. I'm assuming it was trying to be lead speak. When a character's clothes I don't know why I'm saying cloths. When a character's clothes are affected by the environment, is this just cosmetic or will it change a character's resistances?
When a character's clothes are
Like if you're
affected
wet.
by the environment?
Yes.
Is that
Is
thing?
it just
I
cosmetic?
don't even know what that
or will
means.
it change a character's resistance? So in a past stream, you had talked about how if you're in a cold area, that there may be potential for like abilities to have effects based on being cold.
Yeah.
But I
You
don't
can
know
have
if
climates.
there has been specifically armor that will have effects.
No.
I don't
Yeah, no.
think so.
There are climate effects that occur from a buff standpoint. They can also affect skills. Like let's say you're using a frost bolt in a winter climate. There's the ability for those effects to be enhanced and or stronger in those climates. But I do not understand or
Jeff
I
wants to say
think-
something.
So
I think
Sarah's
that at
saying
one
that
point-
Toast is saying that it's because someone was saying that armor got wet in another video that we had. Like you came out of the water and it looked wet.
Oh no.
I think we
No.
talked about this in a live stream a long time ago, where we have the ability to like make a thing dirty as it's being used, but
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
not something that we were ever talking about as like something that's
So it's
really
just
going to be
it's
functional
more
Right.
in the game.
cosmetic. Yeah.
And that's probably not a direction we're going to go. Right?
And we're
It's-
probably
it's-
not going to have the dirtiness either, because from a performance standpoint, it is really a multiple on the on trying to
I
render
like
as
stuff
many
like
clients
weather
as the
potentially
client has
affecting.
to render.
Like if it's a
That's a
storm,
little more
lightning bolt's
difficult, I
better,
think.
frost bolt's better in
Yeah,
winter.
so there
Dirty
isn't
people.
gonna
As long
be,
as it's a
like,
small bonus,
clothing
it's not a
or
big
armor
thing.
that changes based on what's going on in the environment.
Yeah.
In fact, that makes something very
And
clean
Dark-
game
Next
only.
bonus question.
Ooh.
I don't want people's
Get louder.
fancy armors that they
Dark
spend
Tech
money on
wants
to be
know,
dirty.
will there be a guild audit log in-game or exportable that shows who leaves and joins, /promotes, kicks, etc.?
Yeah, one thing I cannot stand as a guild leader in previous MMORPGs is when
stand
you
it.
log in and your guild count has changed and you have no idea why. So it would be great for us to, and it's perfectly possible because we keep those logs ourselves anyways, for us to provide the guild leader and or officers with a log of events that occur. That includes deposits, withdrawals in the guild bank. It includes promotions. It includes kicks. It includes leaves.
I feel like for someone who starts
those
playing
things
this, it
should
might be overwhelming at the
available,
start.
for the guild to see.
Yeah, and I know I've talked to Toast a few times about doing
I
some
don't know
more
why I suddenly get that
guild-oriented
impression,
community
but-
things that we'll be doing in the future. So stay tuned for some of that content. Or sometimes they will be like things where we'll kind of get a bunch of people who are interested in talking about guild stuff together. So definitely stay active on our social media. It's right below me at Ashes of Creation and all the places. We'll let you know. I'll do one more question, which is from Nostra, which is
So many questions.
how might high-level players be able to help or interact with their low-level friends through the mentorship program?
Yeah, so the mentorship program kind of provides individual quests that can be initiated by the mentor based off of what node that they are a part of. So these are like requests that are determined by either certain buildings and or organizations or the mayor, and there are specific ones that are available for
Womp womp.
mentors to provide mentees. And they can also participate in some of those quest lines as well, whether that be leading your mentee through a dungeon, or providing a location for them to arrive with you at, or escort quests for the NPC caravans, or these types of things when done together with your mentor will provide benefits both for the mentor and the mentee as well. So you're incentivized to participate with new players. Obviously, one of the biggest problems that MMORPGs
buff
have
lower level players, though? That's
is
what I
the
wanna know.
new player acquisition. MMOs do great with retention, but they tend to fall short on the new player acquisition standpoint. One of the ways that the node system addresses that that is a large portion of the initial nodes in a game are going to grow mainly around the introduction points around the world. And because they change the spawn tables and the area around them, it keeps it relevant for the later stage players to be returning back to those nodes, which, as we know, a large portion of MMORPG's experience is the social experience. And the reason why traditionally MMOs have had a bad time from a new player acquisition standpoint in the past is because new players join an empty starting area that's no longer relevant, and the base player population has moved to kind of an end stage kind of level. So you don't really see anybody in your initial parts of leveling, and that
I feel like
can kind
Final
of be a
Fantasy
little bit of a
XIV
downer
does
and
a
kind
decent
of,
job with this.
be a problem for the whole social aspect. So because the nodes drive people back to these areas and those areas stay relevant through the changing spawn tables, there are opportunities there for new players to be introduced to a social environment.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, like, the structure of a node itself is kind of agnostic in terms of what your level is, right? So if the mayor builds a building and all the citizens need to help build that building, you as a low-level player can contribute just as much as somebody who's a higher level. So there's always going to be opportunities for new players to engage with these nodes, which is great, right? It's going to make it feel like a living world, a world
Ashes
that
will be a
is
weird
constantly
MMO,
changing,
man.
is constantly moving, that there's always something for you to do beyond just your
I feel like this game's going to be either amazing or a train wreck.
Well, with
And
that,
I hope
think
it's
we have
amazing.
completed our live stream for September. It has been a journey for us. We appreciate everybody who has, followed along with us as we've, giving you guys updates every month. We've been putting out a lot of content in between as well. If you follow us on our social channels, I think they're over here. Yep. At Ashes of Creation in all the places. We have a lot of dev discussions that are going out. Reminder that we do have a dev discussion coming up. So definitely join us with that. We also have our Glorious Gourd contest, which will be giving away some Alpha 1 keys as well as some other goodies. There might be a graphics card for the top winner.
What?
Holy smokes!
So yeah,
30,000 series. I would
since Steven
hope.
already spoiled some stuff, I might as well spoil a little bit more at the
Yay!
end. So for bonus for people
Get
who
on the
stuck
train,
around,
Maggie.
But yeah, we'll definitely have some cool stuff. So stay tuned, and we love you all. We appreciate everybody who's helping us test. We're going to be opening up testing for more people as we progress.
Yes.
But please be patient with us. Obviously, we're working really hard, but there are things that, along the journey, we have to kind of assess whether it's important for us to add more people and when it's good for us. And really that heavily relies on engineering and design and people to really give us the hey, it's now time to test these things. And during these testing phases, you're going to see a lot of bugs. You're going to see a lot of, performance things that we need to adjust. We're in pre-alpha. We're early. So please stay tuned with us.
Yeah, and just to chime in there a little bit, I know I have to give my obligatory disclaimer here, is we are building something that is massive. And, our team is phenomenal. We have some very dedicated, talented MMORPG veterans, and we are all dedicated to making the best quality product possible that answers the call of what many of us as MMORPG players have asked for over many years. We're not aiming to be the WoW killer. We're just aiming to fulfill kind of the promises
still
we've
gonna
made,
call it the
as
WoW
well
killer.
as the
You 100%
the
know
ideas and
that.
philosophies that resonate with you guys as gamers. So that process takes time. There's going to be unknowns, things, that come up that we have to address because our end goal is to take the time necessary to deliver the product that we promised and that you guys want to have. So bear with us during this process. It is a lot of work. And we're happy to do that work because we want to see a smile on your guys' faces.
We want to play too.
We
Me
want to
too.
play too, exactly. But we so much appreciate your guys' support and tuning into our to our live streams. Go follow us on social media. We have a great community team that does an awesome job in having some fun interactions with you guys out there. And we'll do some events in the future. And if you're not registered for the website, go register, participate in the forums, chat with us. We love to hear your feedback. We love to hear your experiences. It's all really important to us.
Yep. please definitely send that our way. We do have the cosmetic swapping over soon, so stay tuned for the next set. We also have a creative director's letter that will be coming out soon as well. I know Steven's working on that. We've had a lot of stuff that has been going on our side, so we're trying to get prepared for all of the things. And yeah, stay tuned with us. We have a lot more stuff to show you all along
I wonder
our
what the
journey.
letter will
And we'll see you
contain.
next month for some
Give
more
WoW some
content. We'll also be
competition.
uploading that other video as a 4K video. I believe it's just taking time for us to render it out and upload it. So
I thought
once
I'd
it's
want to
up,
go look
we'll-
back at the
we'll
video
release
afterward,
that
but the
as well
it's just
as
it's just
live stream
moving
as well.
around
So
with
thank you
mounts.
guys
I don't need to
and
see
gals
that in
and Hells and
4K.
everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next month for another development update.
Love you all. Have an awesome week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Damn, he cut him off. Rude. Okay, well, some of that was kind of cool, but the mount video, I would be lying if I said I didn't hope for something a little more substantial rather than just mounts moving. It's cool knowing that it'll be swim mounts. Some of the mounts look cool, but I don't know. I was hoping for like a little something extra, or maybe like another gameplay video or something. I think he's just excited someone supposedly loves him, so good for him. The real hype for him. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna wrap up here. I think I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna take some time to eat some food. And hopefully my thing will come and I can install that before I start next stream. If not, maybe I'll just do it on stream when it comes. And then I'll be doing some more Genshin. That's what I took out of it. Well, hey man, sounds like you took something good out of it. So nothing crazy exciting like I was hoping for. I was really hoping for announcing the alpha thing, but I guess I'm not ready for that. I'm expecting that in October or November. I don't know if they'll do it like with one of these or if they'll announce it like just on their website or something, but we'll see.